Welcome back, everyone, and welcome back to me. It's been a minute. It's been a little while since I posted a video and uploaded a video, and I want to say it's been almost 3 months since I uploaded a video here on Waypot Today YouTube channel. And thank you for watching. Thank you to everyone who's watched. One reason for my absence on YouTube's been the whole coronavirus situation, which blew up right after I started a new job, and I also launched a new digital footprint. I have a podcast now online. It's on Apple iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and it's not called Waypot Today. It's called Not Me, But You. So check that out, my new podcast, if you have a chance. I have almost 30 episodes uploaded. And I guess I've been working on that about 4 months. So I don't have stellar numbers to report to you, but definitely numbers that encourage me. Okay, so check that out if you get a chance. Check out my website, waypottoday.com, and then of course I started a second website. It's a meal prep cooking website with some of my family's most favorite recipes. They're not necessarily recipes we created, but the recipes that we've used for a long time, so they're time tested and they're family favorites. So if you get a chance to check that out, that website's called healthywisecooking.com. And if you want to email me food related or recipe related, you can email me at HWC, which stands for Healthy Wise Cooking, right? Email me at hwc@healthywisecooking.com. So hope to hear from you on that email, and then anything you're passionate about and anything you want to see as an upcoming YouTube video topic, and or now that you know I have a podcast, you want to see a podcast episode on a topic, email me at waypottoday@gmail.com. Okay, so yes, I'm here in Florida, in a different part of Florida from where I normally live. We're visiting a family member who's sick, and taking also a little added mini vacation. And we're staying here. You can see behind me, we're right on the Gulf of Mexico on the west coast of Florida. Beautiful place, very relaxing, very clean, very quiet, very serene. Just does wonders to lower your blood pressure, and it does wonders to be able to exercise. And just over here to the left of the camera is a beautiful pool that I think we've been in every day since we've been here. So it just feels good to exercise. You know, when you have health, you have wealth, right? So that brings me to today's topic, and today's topic is, I know there's lots of talk in the news about how divided the country is, and I am not here to preach to you about my political views or my spiritual or religious views, but I'm here to tell you that two things I'd suggest are use the power of your internet connection, right? If you're watching this video, you obviously have a connection to the internet, right? Use the power of your internet connection and just go do your own research, right? If you're gonna watch the quote-unquote news, which to me is never totally objective reporting, I don't care what network. I'm not gonna bother naming networks. I don't watch much TV to begin with. We tend to stream a lot of our things that we watch on our screens at home. We tend to stream. I don't think I've had regular cable TV for like 7 years now, and I'm obviously a huge fan of YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. We have Hulu, we have Amazon Prime, of course, mainly to get the 2-day shipping, but you know, you also get streaming content with that membership. We have a couple other streaming services that we subscribe to as well. I think we get a reduced price on Netflix because our cell phone carrier is T-Mobile, but I honestly don't watch that much Netflix anymore. But anyway, I stream, and here's why I stream. I can go on vacation, like I am now on this mini vacation. I can bring a tablet with me. I can bring my phone with me, and I have my digital library with me, right? I don't need to pack DVDs into a special case. I don't, or add it into my luggage. I just like the convenience of being able to access that digital library wherever I am on planet Earth. Okay, and I think technology is wonderful, and I think you can do some really cool things with just an internet connection, right? And then that's what I teach, and that's what I encourage you to do, is use the power of your internet connection and find a way to monetize your ideas. How do you do that? I don't know. It depends what you're interested in, right? I am new at podcasting, only 4 months in, but I do understand how marketers market. I understand how they use multiple digital footprints online to drive traffic to other places and to build your overall numbers, whether that's downloads on a podcast or views on a YouTube channel or visitors to a website, etc. So if you want to know more about that, you want to know what I've done, I'll be glad to help you. Just reach out to me. Email me at waypottoday@gmail.com. Now, why am I telling you all that? I'm telling you that because I want you to be wealthy. How do I define wealth? I want to be wealthy. How do I define wealth for me? How do you define wealth for you? How you define wealth for you is, obviously a question only you can answer. How I define wealth for me is I want to have a big enough pile of money so that just from the investments that money is placed in, from the interest that money collects, I can pay all of my monthly bills. Okay, so that's one reason, and that's how I define wealth. Okay, and I basically just described retirement, right? You have worked your whole life and you've amassed enough money, or you have retirement income that you can afford to not get up and go to a job 5 days a week or 6 days a week. So that's my goal for you. That's my goal for me and my family. And why do I want you to reach that point of monetary wealth? Here's the answer why. It's not really just about money, right? I would not describe myself as a lover of money. But what I would describe myself as someone who realized later in life that my most valuable asset is not money or gold or stocks or a retirement account or homes or cars. My most valuable asset, and I believe your most valuable asset, is your time. So if you're able to free up blocks of time in your week where you no longer have to go to a traditional job, or maybe you only need to work part-time, so you've got 3 or 4 days a week off every week where you can devote yourself to, whatever you're passionate about. Working with a charity, helping out a family member, helping out a friend, volunteering somewhere, whatever, working with your favorite charity, or just doing good things for people, right? Showing people that there still are good people in this world who really do want to help others. And there's not always an ulterior motive, right? It's not always all about profit, right? Oh, I'm only going to help you if you pay me, right? So if you want me to help you get started on your YouTube channel, your podcast, your website, your social media pages, just email me, waypottoday@gmail.com. All right. So, and that's another reason why I started the cooking website, because I meal prep. I'm a big believer in meal prep for 2 reasons. Number one, every ingredient that goes into that recipe and that meal, right? If you go out to eat or you get takeout, do you know every ingredient that goes in there? You don't. And what about the quality of ingredients, right? If I own a restaurant or a takeout place, I'm in business for one reason, to make money. So therefore, I'm going to use the cheapest ingredients to create that meal that I'm going to now sell to you. That doesn't happen when you cook at home. You can use whatever price ingredients you can afford, right? And you can use only healthy ingredients if you want, not necessarily the cheapest ingredients. And then the other reason I really believe in meal prep is because I know that it will save you money. I know it saves me money. I'm going to add on my healthywisecooking.com website, I'm going to add a page or a section where I'm going to show you on a weekly basis and a monthly basis how much money I saved right? By meal prepping versus if I went out to eat, and I'll name the restaurants, I'll name the meals that I would have ordered at the restaurants. I'm going to show you prices. I'm going to show you the math behind it, okay? I'm going to show you the budget behind it. So that's going to probably be in an upcoming video. It's also going to be added to my website, and I'll probably also do a podcast about that topic as well. So back to my original topic today. That was kind of like an overall general to catch you up. I am sitting out here in the noonday sun, and it's almost 90 degrees, so I am definitely sweating. But I'm a person where I don't mind sweating. I don't mind being out in the sunshine. I'm sitting on this kind of like concrete deck right here with the Gulf of Mexico behind me, and I just feel like a lizard. I could lay down on this cement and just soak up the sun, right? And I've always been that way. Even though I was born and raised in New Jersey, so where the winters are long and gray, and you'll go for days and not see the sun. I'm much happier since I moved to Florida. Okay, so back to the original topic. You're hearing in the news that the country's divided. Okay, that's probably true, but here's a couple questions I just want to pose to you. You come up with your own answers. Is that something new, that the country's divided? I mean, hasn't our country always been divided? I would love to see a totally unified country. I mean, I love this country. I love the USA. I love the freedom and opportunity that it provides people. I love the fact that we have a middle class here where, people relatively speaking, compared to other countries, the middle class here lives very well, right? Okay, everyone who's poor wants to move up to the middle class. I get that. Everyone who's in the middle class wants to move up and be uber wealthy, right? Or wants to be wealthy. And then everyone who's wealthy, everyone who's a millionaire probably wants to be a billionaire and be uber wealthy, right? So I'm not saying everyone is content at whatever economic level they're at, but I mean, we have an economic middle class in this country today, and I hope that never changes. I hope that we never move in the future to a country where we only have the uber wealthy and the powerful elites at the top, and then just poor people in poverty or average people at the bottom with no middle class. And if you study history, and if you study political models and economic models in most communist countries, and in most socialist countries, in order for the communism and the socialism to work, there can't be a middle class. It has to be that huge divide. It has to be the powerful elites at the top, and then everyone else, the poor people, the average people at the bottom. And I can't see myself ever moving to a communist country. Would I consider moving out of the United States and being an expatriate for maybe part of the year in a different country? Absolutely. But I don't think I would ever totally leave the United States. That's just me. That's my comfort level. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying if you feel differently, you're wrong. Maybe you just know more than I do. Maybe you just have more life experience, than I do. And that's a distinct possibility, because there's many places I still want to travel to. What else about the divided country? I mean, it sounds great, right? If we could have a unified country, doesn't it sound great? Wouldn't you think everybody would want that? Can you imagine people saying no to that? Hey, if you just do fill in the blank, we could have a united country, right? Who would say no to that? Most people, I think, would say yes, because they would want that. It sounds like such a good idea. But then when you kind of live long enough and you get enough life experience and you think about things and you realize what's possible and what's practical and maybe what are the obstacles in the way, here's another question I'll pose to you. How could we ever have a unified country? How could we ever have a unified country when we have two political parties that are constantly at war with each other? I just don't know if that's possible, right? And if you study the founding of this country, the United States, you go back to the original first president, George Washington. He was against having a two-party political system or having multiple political parties. He warned against having two political parties who would just constantly vie for power and money and, raise taxes and to pay for new ideas and new programs. I mean, if you work for the government, you're a federal employee, I'm sure you are going to retire with great benefits, a great pension. You might disagree with what I'm about to say, but not every American is lucky enough to work for the federal government or for a state government or for a local county government where you're going to get certain protections and certain benefits when you retire, right? Health benefit wise, monthly income, pension benefit wise, right? Most employers today in the United States are not offering pensions, right? They're only offering you the chance to reduce your take-home pay and contribute to your own 401k, which is like your retirement savings plan. And then if you're lucky, they might match 50 cents on the dollar, right? For every dollar you put in up to a certain percentage, say 5 or 6%, they'll match 50 cents. But then after that, if you contribute more, you get zero match. You get only the money you put in. Okay, so to just get ready to wrap this up, if you look at your monthly budget, pull your camera lens back on your budget, right? And number one, write all your expenses down. Find out where you're spending money, what you're spending it on, right? And then having a successful monthly budget is no different than doing a diet successfully, workout program successfully. The key is consistency, right? It's probably kind of hard to totally eliminate a habit, but probably what's easier, I think, psychologically, is to replace one habit with another, right? So if you have a bad habit, replace it with a less bad habit, right? And know that you're going to get your own sense of like self-reinforcement as you it's going to be hard the first month to make changes to your budget, but once you do, if you need to make changes and you need to cut your spending, I mean, you can also look on the other end, think of it as a math equation, your monthly budget. If you can cut expenses and also boost income, that's the best of both worlds, right? But try and make changes where you say to yourself, do I really need to spend this money? Is this a need or a want, right? Do I need to spend this money or do I simply want to spend this money? Okay, I do this, I try and do it in every area of my budget. We own 2 vehicles, but I only have 1 car payment. Now, one of the vehicles is much older than the other, but it's very, very, very well maintained. And just know that when you're buying a car, you are not making an investment, okay? A car is a depreciating asset, right? What do I mean by that? I mean, if I buy a car today, 6 months from now, it's worth less, okay? It's still basically a brand new car, but it's a depreciating asset over time, right? It's worth less and less as time goes on. So when I look at that fact of life, I say to myself, do I want to be the one to pay for the depreciation? Meaning, do I want to be the one to buy the brand new car and then I experience all the depreciation of that asset with my money, with my dollars? No. I'll go buy someone else's fairly new car. I'll go buy someone else's 2 or 3 year old car, and they have experienced all the depreciation for me. Now I'm just buying a used car, right? That I know I'm going to maintain very, very, very well, right? Here's some car tips. Every 3 years here in Florida, I change my car batteries. They could still appear to be working fine, but for $110 or $120 or whatever a new battery cost me at that time, I'm just going to replace it with a brand new battery. Now, do I have AAA coverage? Do I have coverage, through a car dealership, that if I break down, they'll send roadside assistance? Sure I do. But I don't want to have to use that, right? Just like I have life insurance, but I don't want to use that, right? I have to die in order to use that insurance. And just like having roadside assistance or OnStar. I don't want to have to use that service. I'd much rather have my vehicle work every time I get into it and transport me from point A to point B so I can get to where I need to go and get back home again. So I change my batteries every 3 years. There's certain things that other additional things I do to the cars because we live here in Florida, and it's as a result of living in the heat, okay, of a warm state like this. So if you want to know more about that, you can email me at waypodtoday@gmail.com and just ask me, and I'll send you a whole list of things that I do. You know, a couple other things I do is I change the spark plug wires and the spark plugs regularly. There's just certain things I do, and some of these things you can do yourself. You know, if you have leather seats, I use certain cleaners and conditioners, and some of these cleaners you can buy at the dollar store. You know, some of them, you know, leather conditioners, you buy on Amazon. You know, they're not dollar store products, but you know, you use a combination of those. There's a certain blend of oil I put in my vehicles if you're changing your oil at regular intervals, right? And you know, I do the same thing with my engine oil that I do with the car batteries. I change the oil or the battery before it's really due to be changed, okay? I'd rather change something before it breaks on my vehicle, okay? And if you want to know about the blend of oil that I use, you know, synthetic versus non-synthetic, just email me at waypodtoday@gmail.com and I'll tell you. So yeah, to wrap up this video, pull the lens back on your monthly budget and know that there's probably money you can save that you're not currently saving. There's probably money that you're spending on a product or service that maybe you're not even really using anymore, or you're getting little to no benefit. And if you cut it out completely or temporarily for 6 months or a year, your life isn't going to suffer, right? Your lifestyle is not going to suffer. You're probably not even going to notice the change 3 months from now or whatever. We'll have forgotten that you ever even had that, right? And you won't miss it, or you'll find something more healthy to substitute, right? For the time that you used to spend doing that and that cost you money, that activity or that product or service, now you're doing something else that maybe doesn't cost money, and maybe it's healthier for you. Maybe you're working out more or exercising or eating better, okay? Or it's just spending time with friends or family. So, all right, well, as I said, I'm on mini vacation here, visiting a sick family member. I'm on the west coast of Florida temporarily. We'll be here a few more days, and then we'll be heading back to our home in Northeast Florida. And I hope you've had a chance to check out my podcast, Not Me But You. Go to my websites, waypodtoday.com, healthywisecooking.com. If you want to email me food or recipe related, email me at hwc@healthywisecooking.com. And you know, please check out my social media pages. Facebook page, Waypod Today. Would love it if you go there. Check out the posts. Check out the links to my podcast episodes. Like the page if you feel so inclined. And you know, go check out my podcast, Not Me But You. And if you like it, you find it helpful, you know, leave me a rating, however many stars you feel is appropriate. And most importantly, please leave me comments. I'd love to hear your feedback. And if you feel I'd love to get 5-star rating, but if you feel I deserve less than 5 stars, tell me why. Okay. As usual, I'm going to end my video this way. I encourage you to have courage today to pick one thing. Work on your dreams. Until next time, this is Art.